Imagine waking up, reaching for your phone, and realizing you're entirely locked out of your email. Yeah, it is quite literally one of the most panic-inducing modern emergencies you can face. We're living in a world where we'll be sending and receiving nearly 400 billion emails every single day by 2026. Office workers, we're spending over 4 hours a day just staring at our inboxes. But what actually happens when that lifeline is just suddenly cut off? Welcome to this explainer on how to recover a lost email account. Look at this comment from a real user, Reba. She says, "My blood pressure is very high for 2 weeks. Lost everything because no longer have a password." This is raw, right? It perfectly captures the sheer terror of this situation, and it hits the nail on the head as to why getting this right is so absolutely urgent. We're not talking about a minor inconvenience here. It's a full stop on your digital life. The stress of being locked out can literally impact your physical health because of how deeply connected our accounts are to our daily survival. So the crucial point we need to get straight is that your email, it isn't just an inbox anymore. Think of it as the master key to your entire digital existence. In the industry, they actually call it the architectural root of trust in our modern identity ecosystem. It's the primary recovery mechanism for everything: your banking, your cloud storage, online shopping, corporate databases, the whole shebang. So if your email gets compromised or lost, it creates this catastrophic cascade of vulnerabilities everywhere else. And to raise the stakes even higher, major platforms like Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft are now enforcing inactivity-based deletions. What does that mean for you? Well, it means if you stay locked out for 1 to 2 years, your data is purged forever. This isn't just about losing access temporarily. You are literally on a ticking clock before your digital history, your photos, and your critical documents are wiped from the servers permanently. Gone. No way to get them back. All right, to guide you out of this crisis, we're going to follow 6 clear steps in this explainer. First, the root of digital trust, followed by preparing for the recovery, platform-specific recovery steps, coping with failed recovery, hardening your email security, and finally, a conclusion and important disclaimer. Section 1. The roots of digital trust. So let's start by understanding the shifting landscape of email security and exactly why tech companies are changing the rules on us. You know, it used to be that platforms promised to keep your data forever. Well, that era is officially over, thanks to global privacy laws and the honestly terrifying new reality of hackers weaponizing old, dormant data using AI. Indefinite data retention is dead. It's a concept called data minimization. Basically, tech companies are realizing that hoarding exabytes of old data is just a massive security liability. Bad actors are out there scraping old emails to fuel highly personalized, AI-driven phishing scams. So if you can't log in, these companies will eventually just delete the account to protect you and honestly to protect themselves. Section 2. Preparing for the recovery. Before you start frantically clicking buttons and accidentally triggering a 30-day security lockout, which is the absolute worst, we need to calmly prepare for our digital heist. Now, what's truly fascinating here is that modern account recovery isn't just about what you know anymore. It's about where you are. These automated risk engines actually evaluate your historical session telemetry. Basically, you need to gather some very specific intel before you try to recover. You want to use a familiar device you've actually logged in with before, connect to your usual home or office Wi-Fi, and have a working alternate contact email ready to go. Dig up old passwords, try to remember exact email subject lines, and maybe even track down connected Xbox hardware IDs or Skype names. I know it sounds like a lot, but gathering this intel beforehand drastically improves your odds of getting back in. All right, Section 3, Platform-Specific Recovery Steps. With all of our intel gathered, let's execute the tactical recovery steps for the 3 major email providers. Let's look at Google first. For Gmail, the recovery process relies super heavily on device recognition. So following these exact steps from a familiar computer using a browser like Chrome is your absolute best path back in. You'll want to go directly to g.co/recover. Google's risk engine is going to look at your IP address and your browser fingerprint. If it actually recognizes you, it'll prompt you for the last password you remember and then send a verification code to your backup method. Now, a quick pro tip, once you get back in, you must immediately check your devices in your security settings to boot out any unauthorized users, especially if you were hacked. Next up, we have Yahoo. Yahoo offers a pretty standard automated loop starting at login.yahoo.com/forgot, but they actually stand out here. Why? Because they're one of the very few platforms to offer a live premium support phone line in select countries. If the standard verification codes sent to your backup email or phone aren't working, you can literally select "I need more" options and pay a small fee to speak with a real human agent at their 800 number. For so many desperate users, this paid option is an absolute lifesaver. Now let's move on to Microsoft, which powers Outlook and Hotmail. Microsoft requires you to be very, very precise about why you're locked out. You've got two paths here. You must use the standard form if you simply forgot your credentials, and that's where you'll need those exact email subject lines we talked about earlier. But, and this is crucial, you absolutely must use the compromised form if a hacker took over your account. That form focuses heavily on alternate emails, phone numbers, and any credit cards you previously linked to the account. Whatever you do, make sure you choose the right one, because submitting to the wrong form will almost certainly result in a flat-out rejection.
Section 4, Coping with Failed Recovery. It's a really harsh reality, but we have to address what happens when you've tried all the forms, waited the 24 to 72 hours, and the automated systems still reject you.
If the standard recovery fails, you've got to quickly pivot to damage control. Why? Because customer support agents are strictly forbidden from bypassing security protocols for you. If you had two-step verification turned on and you lost your phone, support agents physically cannot override this. For obvious security reasons, they just aren't allowed to send you password reset links. So if the automated forms fail repeatedly, the account is unfortunately lost. At this stage, you must immediately create a new account and methodically update your contact information across all your critical offline and online services. We're talking banking, medical portals, literally everything. Section 5, Hardening your email security. Whether you successfully recovered your account or had to start fresh with a completely new one, we must future-proof your digital life so you never, ever experience this panic again. We're seeing a massive shift in cybersecurity over the last few years. Old methods like security questions, they are practically useless now. Hackers can literally buy the answers to your security questions from data brokers online. It's crazy. SMS text verification is a bit better, sure, but it's still totally vulnerable to SIM swapping attacks. You've got to transition to strong security practices immediately. This means using authenticator apps, generating unique, complex passwords that you actually store in a credential manager, or, best of all, utilizing hardware-backed cryptographic keys. Section 6, Conclusion and Important Disclaimer. Let's wrap up this explainer by cementing what you need to take away from this whole complex landscape of digital recovery. Please keep in mind that while we've outlined the official workarounds and best practices here, these automated systems change rapidly. Your specific success is going to rely heavily on what you set up before disaster struck. This explainer provides general guidance based on industry standards, but ultimately, official provider assistance and their current terms of service will always be the final authority on your account access. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Think about every single service, every irreplaceable photo, and every critical financial document tied to your email right this very second. If your primary email account was locked today, is your digital root strong enough to survive the storm? Or would your entire online identity just be washed away? I highly, highly encourage you to go check and update your account recovery settings the very minute this explainer ends. Stay secure, stay prepared, and take control of your digital identity.